Water, a colorless, transparent, and odorless liquid, is the most abundant liquid on Earth. It comprises over 70% of the human body and covers 70% of the planet. Water is the second only to the air we breathe. Simply put, water is life. Access to basic water supply, sanitation, and hygiene are crucial factors in enabling people live healthy lives. Its provision remains a key social contract between governments all over the world and their people, as buttressed by the United Nations Sustainable Development Goal 6 of clean water and sanitation. Yet, the provision of this important natural liquid in Ghana is without challenges. The 2014 Ghana Water Sector Strategic Development Plan says government and her development allies are dedicated to invest into interventions directed at firming policy, institutional, regulatory, and financial agenda for effective service delivery, including operation and preservation of water and sanitation services by 2025. In both rural and urban Ghana, it is uncommon to find people walking long distances in search of potable water. In some places, both humans and animals share the same source of water supply. In the national capital Accra, the story is somewhat different, as some enjoy the flow of water from the mandated water providers. In new settlements, water is scarce. Residents have no choice but to resort to tanker services or dig their own boreholes, and hence the genesis of water pollution and contamination. About 80% of the Ghanaian population has access to improved water sources, while about 70% have no access to toilet facilities in their homes, and 1 in 5 Ghanaians have no access to toilets, a recipe for open defecation. According to the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, 4,000 Ghanaian children die each year from diarrhea. The connection between other infrastructure and behavioral practices as complementary to the delivery of water services to ensure safe water for the population cannot be overemphasized. In the densely populated and developmentally challenged areas in Accra, such as Shiabu, where sanitation and the lack of potable water continues to be an issue, residents have taken their fate into their own hands in the area of provision of water. In their bid to get water, they have haphazardly laid their pipelines anyhow, crisscrossing each other, with some running in open drains, exposing them to contamination. People ignore the health risk this poses to them and the larger community.
Well, the challenge no way again. Now by far, can clear drainage. Or drainage system from here being to me over here. During construction, I mean, I was looking up. Okay, I can be pulling engineering. Okay, pulling your
Characteristic of this area are poorly laid out roads, choked drains, poor plumbing and sewage systems, as well as the lack of maintenance of these facilities. In fact, unsanitary acts increases cases of dysentery, worm infestation, cholera, typhoid, and other waterborne diseases.
Sanitation space, in fact, is very bad for us. And the way the pipelines have been nakedly, but they should find a way so that we get this 12 inches pipe. So we connect all the pipes to that pipe. So if anybody wants to connect this line, there is a channel, a way in, so they can pass through to connect the pipe. But they have looked at the wire, the pipe, and then some have leakages.
Because of dustbins, ni wo be mami wo akebola ichifa fe
ahan mo pa de ahaye pa sibia bola no ene show no eye no ko show to ahaye wa ha no mo tie sere aban se wontwe nani na o mehwe den o mehwe anu mo kakra because entontom na ade no eye ahaye ya paneche o mehwe kakra man
ana atami ka atami a organize na atami ke buddha za jo na nye ba atami Sophie can be Picasso. I come out boy sir. Picasso can be about time. Picasso Sophie about time. What time fair?
Indiscriminate littering is compounding the country's waste situation, making waste disposal and sanitation management a huge challenge. Improved sanitation and hygiene services combined with potable water as well as adequate water and water supply services are critical health services to every country. The lack of or inadequate provision of these services undermine the achievements of targets set for the Sustainable Development Goals 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. Whereas the country is on the path of achieving the sustainable goals for water, same cannot be said of sanitation and hygiene. Available figures say Ghana's achievement is at 20%, while 25 or over 5 million Ghanaians defecate in the open daily. It is estimated that the country loses over $200 million annually in terms of health, in labor and productivity caused by the lack of or inadequate sanitation and hygiene services. Ghana seems to be off track in meeting the Sustainable Development Goal on sanitation, as less than 10% of feces collected is adequately treated before disposal due to the fact that the country does not have adequate and well-engineered facilities for treating and managing feces. Hence, raw feces are dumped into rivers, drains, and bushes in most places, in most parts of the country. Decades ago, the Lavender Hill here in Accra served as the final disposal point for untreated fecal matter. Now, things are gradually changing. The Accra Metropolitan Assembly, with support from Danida, commissioned this waste treatment plant where separation of the feces is done. Raw feces are treated into compost or manure and sold to farmers for agricultural-related activities, while the harmless water is channeled back into the sea. Waste management is one of Ghana's biggest challenges. Producing over 20,000 tons daily, nearly all of this is not recycled. Sanitation and water are the core of achieving all the SDGs, yet they receive little attention compared to the other sectors. Currently, over $85,000 million is spent on malaria treatment alone due to poor sanitation in the country. Fortunately, it is not all gloomy, as some private companies are making strides in changing the narrative. 20 kilometers east of Accra is at Shama, a community where waste generation is no headache. Here, Safisana since 2009 has been at the forefront of making positive impact with the tons of waste generated in the catchment area. Similar facilities are springing up in some other areas. Unfortunately, this is just a drop in the ocean, as more such projects will be needed in the country before Ghana can sustainably manage her waste to put her on track to meeting the Sustainable Development Targets on sanitation. This is where the CSIR and Recirculate join hands to partner government to improve upon its provision of potable water and sanitation management for healthy living for national development. With the right infrastructure framework, which includes the right network of paved roads, properly laid out, clean drains, well-engineered plumbing and sewage systems, as well as the maintenance of these facilities, will go a long way to ensure the delivery of safe water. Accordingly, the right partnership between the Sustainable Development Goals 6 of clean water and sanitation, SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities, and SDG 12, responsible production and consumption is needed to achieve SDG 3 of good health and well-being. This requires the development and implementation of innovative, effective programs involving all sector players with replications across the country.